Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through all the noise around big cultural moments and give you, well, the essential stuff you need to know. Today, we're diving into a film that somehow pulled off a magic trick, smashing together R-rated, kind of profane chaos with this super-structured Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're talking Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like sticking them together, it was this huge hit, commercially speaking. You couldn't ignore it. So what we're going to do is use the sources, the material you send over, and pull out two main things. First, just the hard facts, the record-breaking success it had.
Right.
And second, the specific story bits, the lore, the TVA, the multiverse stuff, the variants, all the mechanics that actually made this whole crossover work.
And we absolutely have to start with just how big a deal this was. I mean, it's the 34th film in the MCU, right? Mm-hmm. Part of Phase 5. Mm-hmm. But the really key thing, the one everyone is watching, is that it's the first R-rated MCU movie. They actually kept the rating from the other Deadpool films.
Mm. And sticking to their guns on that paid off. Big time. The source material shows it pulled in, $1.338 billion globally. That's not just impressive, that makes it the second biggest film of 2024. And maybe more importantly, it cemented its place as the highest grossing R-rated film ever. It just proved how much people wanted that specific unfiltered Deadpool.
Okay, so the money side is clear. Huge success. But let's talk about the challenge behind the scenes. How did they even manage to take this character, who started out at 20th Century Fox, remember? They started working on a third movie way back in 2016, and then fold him into Disney's Marvel Studios, after the buyout in 2019. That seems tricky.
Oh, absolutely. That's where the real story is. And the sources indicate it wasn't exactly a smooth ride creatively at first. You had this team of writers, Sean Levy, who also directed, Ryan Reynolds himself, Reese Wernick, Zeb Wells, and some earlier writers too. And they were kind of struggling, trying to find the right angle. How do you make this fit? It couldn't just be about money. It needed a story reason to be in the MCU.
And this is where it gets interesting, right? That struggle was real, apparently, until August 2022. What was it about Hugh Jackman deciding, okay, I'll come back as Wolverine, that suddenly made everything click into place?
It basically solved their biggest problem, the multiverse. If you bring that Wolverine back, the Fox version, you kind of have to use the multiverse. And the established way to do that in the MCU now is, the TVA, thanks to Loki.
Right, the Time Variance Authority.
Exactly. So Jackman coming back meant the film didn't need to force Deadpool into the main MCU timeline, Earth 616. Instead, it could become this big celebration and farewell to the whole Fox Marvel universe. It gave the movie its own reason to exist, separate from the main MCU sacred timeline.
Makes sense. And just a quick production note, they filmed mostly in the UK, Pinewood Studios, and other spots. And you can see the real-world impact, too, like when the SAG-AFTRA strike in 2023 forced them to pause filming. Shows how long this thing was actually in the works.
Yeah, definitely. And we shouldn't forget the music, either. It's got an original score by Rob Simonson, sure. But they also deliberately used these huge, iconic pop songs, like Madonna's Like a Prayer. For those big, over-the-top Deadpool moments, it really helps lock in that unique, kind of irreverent tone.
Okay, let's jump right into the plot stuff now, because this is where all that Loki lore really kicks in. So Wade Wilson, right. It's 6 years after he used Cable's time device to save Vanessa. He's hung up the suit, basically, retired. He actually tries to join the main Avengers, the Earth 6x10 team, and gets shot down by Happy Hogan. Why start there? Why show that rejection?
Because it instantly tells you he doesn't belong here. He's an outsider to the main MCU world. That rejection is what triggers the whole TVA thing. He gets picked up, detained by this agent, Mr. Paradox, and Paradox's job, his whole department's job, is monitoring the sacred timeline, keeping things in order across the multiverse.
Paradox wants to recruit Wade at first, but then we get the big twist, the main problem for the movie. Paradox reveals Wade's original universe, Earth 1005, is basically falling apart, dying.
Exactly, and the source material is pretty specific here. It's deteriorating because its anchor being died, and that anchor was Logan, their Wolverine. So one guy dying is literally unraveling their whole reality. That's the concept. And Paradox, who's kind of acting shady off the books from his TVA bosses, he plans to just wipe that universe out completely with a Time Ripper machine, probably to cover up his own mistakes in monitoring it.
Okay, so high stakes, clear conflict. Wade steals a time device, a tempad, tries to bring his Logan back to life, fails, and then he finds another Logan, a variant. But this one is apparently so bad that Paradox himself calls him the worst Wolverine in the multiverse.
Ouch! It's the perfect setup to force them together, right? So to deal with this mess, Paradox just dumps both of them into the void. You know that place at the end of time where the TVA throws all the timelines and variants they prune? And this specific Logan variant is important because the sources say he's just consumed by regret, especially about his X-Men teammates dying. That guilt is his whole deal.
And the void is where the movie really leans into being a massive Fox tribute. The big bad there is Cassandra Nova, Charles Xavier's twin sister, apparently super powerful, super sadistic, and she made some deal with the TVA to basically rule over this wasteland of prune stuff.
Yeah, and you can see they were serious about her tone. Emma Corrin, who played her, mentioned using Christoph Waltz's Honda Landa from Inglourious Bastards as inspiration. That kind of calm, calculating, terrifying villain. She's designed to mess with the heroes' heads.
So in the Void, Wade and Logan run into this resistance group, and this is where the nostalgia just goes off the charts. You get Laura, X-23 from Logan, Jennifer Garner back as Elektra, Wesley Snipes as Blade. Yeah. And maybe the biggest one for longtime fans, Channing Tatum finally playing Gambit after that solo movie never happened. It really feels like closing the book on the Fox era.
Totally. And the different variants they show hammer that home too. You see Hugh Jackman as all these different Wolverines. There's the short, comics-accurate one, Old Man Logan, Patch with the eye patch. It's not just Easter eggs. It's like the movie is saying, okay, we see all these versions of the Fox history, we acknowledge them, now we move on.
And we got to talk about the Deadpool army too. Ryan Reynolds really called in some favors, it looks like. Dogpool's a star, obviously, played by Pluto the dog. But then you find out his wife, Blake Lively, voiced Lady Pool, and two of their kids voiced Kid Pool and Baby Pool. Now, that's almost breaking the fourth wall just with the casting.
It definitely adds to that personal, chaotic feel, doesn't it? And beyond the family ties, they use the variant idea to pull in everyone. Like Chris Evans popping up as Johnny Storm again, briefly. Even Henry Cavill shows up as a Wolverine variant. The Cavalrine, they called him. Just the sheer number of familiar faces makes you realize the stakes. It's the entire history of Fox's Marvel movies potentially on the chopping block.
Which sets up the climax perfectly. Cassandra Nova figures out she can use the Time Ripper to destroy all the timelines, not just Earth 1005, leaving only her void. So Wade and Logan have to follow her back to Wade's dying homeworld.
And the final showdown delivers the payoff. Paradox lets slip that destroying the Time Ripper is basically a suicide mission. Whoever breaks its power flow dies. So naturally, Wade and Logan do it together. They share the burden, overload the machine. And because it's a comic book movie, they both manage to survive somehow. Cassandra's plan is stopped, she's killed in the process.
Right after that, proper TVA arrives. Hunter B-15 shows up, arrests Paradox for going rogue, Earth 1005 is saved, stabilized. But then Wade, always thinking emotionally, asks the TVA for one more thing. Can you change Logan's past? Fix all the bad stuff, erase his regrets.
And this, right here, this is maybe the most important moment for the future of the MCU and how it handles legacy characters. Hunter B-15 says no. Flat out refuses. She explains that Logan's history, all the pain, the failures, the dead X-Men, that's what made him the hero he is now. You can't erase it because it's fundamental to who he became. His past, his heroism, they're linked, immutable.
Well, that's a pretty definitive statement from the multiverse police, isn't it? Can it regret stays. She does give Logan permission to stay in Wade's universe, though, which is nice of her.
And that's kind of how the deep dive ends. On a personal note, Logan, the guy defined by all that past pain, is the one telling Wade to go make things right with Vanessa. It brings Wade's personal story full circle, even as all the huge multiverse stuff settles down. The personal drama reflects the cosmic rules, in a way.
So, stepping back, looking at the whole thing, what made this film such a big deal wasn't just the R rating, though that was huge. It was how it cleverly used the MCU's own rules, the TVA, the Sacred Timeline, as the mechanism to basically give a proper send-off to the whole Fox Marvel legacy. It was a tribute that also managed to integrate these characters going forward. Pretty smart.
What really sticks with me, though, is that core idea from the TVA's ruling about Logan. If Hunter B-15 is saying point blank that a character's tragic, regrettable past, the stuff that haunts them, can't be changed because it's the very thing that forged their heroism, well, that raises some massive questions for any other legacy characters they bring into the MCU, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And that brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. If the defining moments of the hero's life, especially the painful ones, are now set in stone by the universe's timeline managers, how much real choice do these characters have left? And does accepting that immutable regret, that painful past, become the new definition of heroism in this giant MCU multiverse? It makes you wonder if being saved means changing your past or just figuring out how to live with it, something to think about.